We should be pretty much ready to rock and roll. So, what's up guys? And welcome to Casual Play Star Wars Battlefront, the Battle of Jakku, or at least I believe that's how you pronounce it. The date is about the 8th, it's actually the 9th of December 2015. In this video I have teased in the sort of drop down advertisement description, that's the word I'm looking for the video, that we've got an awful lot of really cool stuff to talk about. And I really wasn't lying when I said that. We've literally got loads and loads of really cool videos coming up over Christmas. Most people tend to sort of quieten things down, have a relaxing Christmas, and actually that's not what's happening here at all. Just going to quickly shut the door. That was pretty poor planning from myself. But we're there, we're done now, we're back. Too eager, that's my problem. Too eager to get going. So yeah, there's loads of cool stuff. Because this is a live stream, I will probably wait maybe a few minutes before people are basically here, and before we start talking about the really cool news, just to sort of make sure that everyone that wants to know about the stuff live gets a chance to hear about it without myself repeating myself too much. So in the meantime, it's time to talk just generally about the games that have come out. If you have been following the games reviews on the channel, you'll know that I've pretty much done all of the ones that I will be doing over this period anyway. There is of course one glaring omission, which is Rainbow Six Siege, and it appears that that will not be appearing on the video, in a video, just because I didn't actually even try to get a review copy this time, but I did with Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and at the moment I think I need to sort a proper phone call out with Ubisoft, because I seem to think that they just don't seem to get back to me, which is a shame. And I don't want to sit here and slag them off, because to be honest, I mean, it's just business, it's fair enough. But that was probably just me applying, if you like, for review copies too early about a year and a half ago, and they'd probably ignore me now as a result. So it's a dangerous game asking for review stuff, because if you go too early, then by the time you actually get given stuff, a lot of the people might have decided that basically it's not worth you having stuff. And I've just realised that my settings were on ultra, which isn't a very good idea when you're trying to record, so apologies for that. But yeah, gaming season anyway. In a sentence, the ones to buy personally. If let's assume you're going to buy 2 games here, so you want one multiplayer and you want one single player. Unless you really want Call of Duty, then I would say probably it's worth going Battlefront, which of course we're playing now, and then Just Cause 3. That would be personally what I would do. I think, just because both of them are a bit different to the sort of stuff you're used to playing. Just Cause 3, if you've seen from the review, is just absolutely mental. It really is. It's really good fun. It's probably not that much of a deep experience, and especially like story-wise, you're not going to get much of a really deep, immersive story that you're going to remember there. But it's just great bit of fun, to be perfectly honest with you. And I've found myself having a very good, enjoyable time playing it, even though performance hasn't been particularly brilliant on the AMD card that I am using. But it's quite an interesting sort of topic, I guess, because there haven't really been any stinkers that I've played, at least. They've all been pretty damn good, especially Call of Duty. I have to say the zombies mode is always something that appeals to me, so every 3 years now I get to play a bit of zombies, and every 3 years is quite nice, because by the time it's sort of, that was a good shot, by the time it's sort of time to actually play Call of Duty zombies, you haven't really played it in a long time, so that's pretty cool. I mean, the last one, I think it was 3 years ago, wasn't it? So that 3-year cycle that they do, as long as they keep the games different enough, I think actually it could work in their favour. But of course, if you're someone that loves Call of Duty multiplayer, then I have to say it was pretty similar, in all honesty, to Advanced Warfare. But as an overall package, you still get quite a lot of game for your money. Hello to anyone and everyone that is watching in the streaming window. If you're streaming this live, welcome. And for everyone else that is watching, thank you for joining me on the archive stream, because more people will watch it over the archive, so I would love for people to try and check this out live when you can, because then you get to interact directly by asking any questions, and if you have any sort of tech advice or anything you want to give to people as well. That normally goes down on the chat, which is pretty nice. But just generally, it's a good format. I quite like it. But I said exciting news, and I think it's probably time to talk about what is coming up, because there are some very cool things. Right, where did we leave it last time? Well, we were playing Just Cause 3 last time, so we're focusing more on the game. And then even before that, I believe it was Star Wars Battlefront again, we were streaming. So we haven't really had much chance to sort of catch up and let you know what's going on. Well, I'll get the first thing out of the way, and the thing that most people want to know and keep asking about, which is fair enough, is the Skylake build. This has been unfortunately delayed every now and then, as I'm sure you'll no doubt know. This is just due to a Intel processor not being here, and a Corsair, not happy about that, and a Corsair case not being here, but everything else is here and is actually above me somewhere over there. Now the good news is everything is now properly finalised, and the last time I said to you about this, I was saying it was going to be a pre-Christmas build, and that is 100% correct. That is still happening, with the proposed video dates that should be appearing will be basically Christmas. The first one might appear between Christmas and New Year, but certainly January at the very latest. This will happen over a 3-part series. We're going to be looking at going through all the different parts and why they're in the build. We're going through a video building the computer, which is probably of interest, the most interest to most people, and that will show you how to sort of get everything set up. And I believe it's the 6700K. It's not been confirmed yet. I know it's definitely a Skylake i7, so I'd assume so. But assuming it is the overclockable one, we'd be showing you how to overclock that as well. Select map. Where's the new one? There it is. Graveyard of Giants. There we go. We'll be showing you how to overclock that, get everything set up, and then there'll be a separate video will be basically performance, because a lot of people have asked when I've been doing these videos before, basically what's going on. You're telling me to get these parts, but I don't know if it's any good. I've only got your word for it. Game found, waiting for more players. No, absolutely not. So yeah, it'd be good to actually have some benchmarks in there, and then literally you can see if you buy this system, this is what you're going to get, which is pretty cool. Don't tell me there's no games. This is the DLC. I would have thought everyone would be playing it. No, that would do. I can wait in this lobby. Yeah. Hello to everyone in the comments. The watch counter is actually always a little bit behind. There's probably about 6 of you at the moment, even though it's saying there's 2. But thank you for those that have joined me. When you look back at the analytics, it's pretty cool, and you see that most people tend to watch for about an average of 6 minutes, which is actually quite a lot, because the average watch time normally on videos is about 3 minutes 30 for me, which is quite cool. Hello to Hales Angels, who is asking, is Skylake safe to use with aftermarket coolers? Cup of tea. And of course the reason that's being asked is because it's come out in the last week that some of the Skylake chips are bending if you're using certain aftermarket cooler. Now let me set the record straight. This is pretty much only going to affect not water coolers, air coolers, big heavy air coolers, because water coolers all kind of clip on like so, and then there's not that much continued pressure other than from the screws. So if you screw it in really tight, then granted, you might run into the same issue. But the problem is where you've got this cooler constantly pressing down on top of the chip, and the chip has started to bend. Whether this is going to affect you, most likely not. Because if you're using a stock cooler, of course the stock cooler doesn't actually come with the big i7 anymore. But if you're using a stock cooler, then there's no problems there whatsoever, and you wouldn't have to worry, because even if it did bend, you'd be entitled to a full refund because the product you've been sold is not fit for purpose. But if you are using an aftermarket cooler, then that responsibility really is going to be with the cooler. I don't think it's going to cause too many people an issue, and it's only certain coolers that have been confirmed. But I couldn't go through every cooler and tell you, not only because it would take too long, but because I don't know. But essentially, if you've got a really massive air cooler, really massive, one of the most expensive ones, then yes, you could be affected. But you're going to want to go onto things like forums and stuff to find out that information for you yourself. Generally speaking, it's quite unlikely to affect you. This is assuming all chips are going to bend as well. So it may well be that it's only a very small selection of those samples. But yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about it unless you know you've got a big bulky air cooler and you've got a Skylake chip. Yeah, if you've got a heavy air cooler, you'll probably still be alright. You'll probably still be alright, because remember, we only had like 1 or 2 reports of this, and this came out last week. Whereas this chip has been out now for 5 or 6 months, so I would say you're very unlikely to have this affect you. But yeah, the Skylake build then, it will definitely be coming this Christmas, which is pretty cool. We should be looking at 2 GTX 980s in there now. Have to confirm the details with Asus, just because, and this will lead me on to point number 2, I need HDMI 2.0 now. So it was looking like it was going to be an AMD rig, but that will probably wait. In terms of people asking me about another rig, what's coming next, well, at the moment this is not confirmed, but there will definitely be another build, I imagine, at some point, and it looks like it might currently be in the Corsair 600C, which would be pretty cool, the new case that they've got going on. And it looks like it might be the X99 platform, because at the moment, in all honesty, Skylake, especially the i7, it doesn't look like it's as worth buying as it used to be, because the chip prices are up about £75 here in the UK, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, and it defeats the point. You may as well just go X99. You're paying for the same sort of DDR4 RAM. You're going to get very similar performance, but you're going to get 6 cores rather than 4. So I'll be talking about that a bit more anyway in the video. But yeah, so it looks like there might be a X99 based build happening after the current Skylake build, but one thing at a time. Message from Ross Mills. Hey man, just wondering if you'd ever do a review on any Razer Kraken headsets. I certainly would, and it's definitely something I need to have a chat with Razer about, because at the moment they're not in my sort of... I love playing as him, it's so cool. Not as Razer. I haven't basically got a contact with Razer, so that's something I will look to do this year. Not because I have sent emails and not got responses, I just haven't really got around to doing it as of yet. It will, I'm sure it will happen though. Razer, I've heard, are pretty good, so it's just a case of getting some mice, keyboards, headsets and things like that in, and doing reviews, because let's be honest, those are the sort of things I do regularly, and assuming I'm good, that's probably one of the stuff I've had the most practice at and should in theory be good at. So yes, hopefully on the horizon. Ross Mills saying thank you, but Emil, is that how you say that? 5820k or 6700k, since the price is around the same. Yeah, I would very much be tempted to go X99, and while this Skylake build was at one point going to be my personal rig, it looks like I've got to give the motherboard back to Asus, and if that is the case, then I won't be registering my copy of Windows with it. I'll just be using it sort of without putting my what do you call it, the serial number in for a bit, and then I'll probably just do an X99 build, because performance for the price is probably going to be better, and it also means that I can get another build video out of it, which would be pretty cool. So yeah, that's that anyway. But moving on to point number 2, and probably the most exciting thing of all time on this channel, in my opinion, maybe not. I never thought it would actually happen. I tried my best, and I do like to consider myself to be a businessman. So I go, and while it's nice to be pally with PR people, at the end of the day, you're both there to be doing your job, and you want a mutually beneficial relationship. So the better the relationship, and the more benefit for each party, the more stuff you're basically going to be able to get, and the better business you're going to be able to do. So I ring PR man from LG, and I say, hey look, I've got a video on the channel at the moment. In fact, I've got 2 videos. Both were based off this 4K TV, this Samsung HU7500 that I bought for myself out of my own pocket last year. I've been very happy with it, but the videos have been doing very well. The review itself managed to get about 100,000. Yes, has got about 100,000 views. 4K gaming, is it worth it? Also got about 100,000 views. And now, doing even better, 4K UHD TVs, are they worth it? Is on about 140,000 views. Or thereabouts, might be slightly more, slightly less. So the point is, this one TV basically managed to get about 350,000 views. which translates into a lot of money for, say, Samsung. Not directly because I said it's really good, but because 2 of the videos use the TV as an example, and so immediately people think, oh, this guy's got this TV, must be quite good. But then in the review as well, I said it was a very good TV, and it is a very good TV. That's why I bought it. So they've basically done quite well out of it, Samsung, and especially as I didn't actually sort of get it a review sample, I just went out and bought it normally. They've done very well indeed. So I said to PR man, I said, hey look, I want to do something similar with an OLED TV. Can you do that? I can get a video produced on OLEDs, because a lot of people are wondering what OLEDs is and whether they are worth it and what the differences are. But then there's also a few other cool videos I could do, like the actual review of the TV itself, and then do a really cool video on 4K gaming on an OLED TV. And have a guess what he said. He said yes. I will check with the business. I'm like, okay. Well, you know, it's his job to keep me happy, if you like. I doubt it will happen. Get the phone call. OLED project confirmed. So, I will have an OLED TV for a couple of weeks over Christmas, and I'll be able to produce what should be some really cool videos. And I am so excited to get started on that. It coincides greatly with the Skylake project, because it means that I have multiple reasons to basically try and see if I can get another 980 loaned out to me for SLI over Christmas for performance. But gaming on this TV, if you want to play with a controller, there's surely, I mean, assuming the response time is good enough, there's got to be nothing quite like it, and surely it would have to be the best experience you could get. So that's coming over Christmas, and I imagine that will be early January as well. So I have to say I'm very excited, very, very excited to get started. It's going to be a lot of hard work. I've got loads of videos to do over Christmas, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And obviously, when you're doing reviews, half the job is watching the TV, which is pretty damn cool. So it's, yeah, I'm in a pretty good place right now. In all honesty, I'm pretty happy. Business is good. It's got to try and be sustainable, because obviously I'm trying to make this into a business. And this is the thing that people don't always understand about just reviewers. The reason that you get free stuff, and bear in mind all of this stuff is being loaned, I don't really get to keep much of it, and the only stuff I do get to keep is almost boring stuff like power supplies, but can't really complain. The reason people get stuff like this is because at the end of the day it sells their product. When you are watching a video, be very careful about what people say. I personally can't stand advertisements that, especially ones that aren't that clear that they're advertisements. Let me get something straight. If say we use company X, they send you a power supply, and then you use that in a computer-based build, and you say why it's in it. Okay, you say oh, this is here, and if you say because this rig needs 800 watts of power, and it needs a power supply that's pretty quiet, and it basically needs to look good, all of those things, okay, that's fair enough. But if you then have a power supply, and then you say, you know, bearing in mind that you've just been given it free, and then you go off and say, I'm using this, it's literally the best power supply out there, you've got to go and get it, but we're using it in this build here. That's a bit dodgy, isn't it? So I'm going to be, don't worry, I'll be plenty careful in doing these sorts of videos to make it very clear what's going on, because you guys, from your point of view, you don't really, it doesn't make too much difference what this thing is, as long as you're not being told something essentially that's lies. If I tell you something's the best, it will be in a review, and it will be a review copy, sample, whatever, and it would have nothing to do with money, basically. And I'm at the stage now where if someone sent me a monitor, you know, if I say I'm at the stage now, it'd always be like that, but it's easily at the stage that if I get sent a rubbish monitor, as you've seen from some products, quite happy to turn around and say, look, it's not very good, don't buy it. And that's obviously the way it should be, and that will never change. And if you ever think that has changed, then you need to say something, because it ain't right. But yeah, that's the OLED project. Anyway, very, very cool news. So the OLED project and the Skylake project, both confirmed, both coming about Christmas time. In terms of reviews, we've got the Strix edition should be coming this weekend of the R9 Fury. Using that at the moment, I believe it's a little bit dodgy with the beta drivers, because I'm actually every now and then getting this horrible grey tear across the entire screen. I'm assuming it's game related, because if it was pure graphics card problems, then I'd imagine it would do it all the time, and only does it during heavy gaming loads. But we will have to wait and see what's going on there anyway. I want to get some more simple guides done at some point, but I don't think that's really going to happen other than explaining about the OLED project. We have quite a lot of monitor reviews. We've got the Asus FreeSync and the AOC FreeSync monitors to do. The Asus one is 1440p TN, 144 Hz, so basically like the ROG Swift, but for FreeSync AMD users. And then we've also got the bargain. That is the AOC FreeSync 144 Hz TN based monitor, which is available for about £160. And I'm excited to have a look at this one, because if it's good, then it could be an absolute steal for people. Because I remember my first TN based high refresh rate monitor was about 220 quid, and so to get that for £60 less with FreeSync, I think is going to win a lot of people over, and it's pretty damn cool. I have no idea whether this is going to hit anyone. So yeah, those two reviews are coming soon, as well as the Fury Strix edition, which should happen next week. And then other than that, I think it's just a case of the calendar's kind of quite full. So I'm not adding anything else, because I think it would be silly to basically sign up to do too much stuff. But stuff that I know is happening at some point. We have the Philips Curve 219 monitor, but this doesn't have FreeSync or G-Sync, which I think might hurt it depending on its price in the business. Then again, would you spend £400 extra to get a G-Sync version of a monitor? Well, like it could well be. If you could get this monitor for about £550, would you spend £400 for G-Sync? Even I think that's probably not worth it. I say even I think that's not worth it. It's not worth it. But when they get a little bit cheaper, probably is. And we've also got the 5K monitor as well, which should be pretty damn cool, coming from Philips as well, actually. So both of those should be coming about Christmas sort of time. But I mean, it's the 9th today. It's almost the end of the year. It's really weird. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming, but I almost want to not hold off reviews, but maybe just take a couple reviews out and do some of my classic content, because I think that's what tends to go down quite well anyway, and I feel bad for not doing it, and I like doing that sort of content. But the OLED project at least should change that slightly. Aldous Strike, he's got to be dead. No, he didn't die. Okay, fair enough. If you have any questions, of course, do keep them coming in. I see there are some now. I'll answer them now, but if you have any questions, you know where to put them. Joe Tiago, what resolution do you currently play now? At this precise second, 1080p in a window, but it's on a 3440 by 1440 screen. So 3440 by 1440 is my normal resolution. But I find it is very, very hard, and excuse my language, but it's a bit of a bitch to run off a single card. So for me, 1440p is probably still the best sort of resolution for most graphics cards, unless you've got multiple in SLI. But as Just Cause 3 and Batman Arkham Knight will quite happily tell you, SLI and Crossfire is not actually supported. So, you know, it's always worth having the best single card you can get. Question, would you rather have the i7-5960X for free or two A980s for free? Well, I can tell you right now, you would never get either of those for free, and if people that do get them for free, it's either like a sponsored thing or it's a case of someone's forgotten. That's the trick, if you like, with PR. If you organise date for it to be delivered, and you just keep a bit quiet on the date going back, and as soon as they ask for it back, you give it back. But until then, it doesn't really hurt you if you have an extra monitor lying about the house now, does it? That's my advice anyway. So yeah, no, you wouldn't get either for free, but saying if we could, depends really, whether I had much money, because they're both worth about the same, but I think I'd probably go for the processor, but I would need the relevant motherboard and stuff. So yeah, we're in a weird place right now where graphics cards are just getting more and more and more VRAM, and I called it, 100% called it, but if you're running off a 770, you're in dire trouble because you've only got 2 GB. And even me running off a GTX 980, 4 GB still isn't that much. Or the Fury that I'm running at this precise second, still only with 4. It's quite dangerous. It's quite a dangerous amount of VRAM if you want to use high resolutions, because games are using more textures. And just to remind you, if you're not familiar with why this is happening, Game textures and visual quality has improved massively over the last 2 years because consoles have 8 gigabytes of shared RAM. So that's shared RAM for graphics and just shared system RAM. So if you look at your computer at the moment, you'll have a graphics card with VRAM, and then you'll have, of course, RAM in your actual system, and then textures and stuff are stored in RAM, and then they basically get loaded into VRAM when they're being used, and it's a lot more complicated than that, but I guess that's the easiest way of almost putting it. So if you run out of RAM, then you start loading from a paging file, and then everything goes a bit tits up. The reason you have VRAM, though, is because it's quicker than if you are just running standard RAM. So you want nice quick RAM so you can quickly load textures, so if you go into a new area in an open world game, you can load these textures into memory very, very quickly. Oh, we won. How about that? Nitro Touch says hello. Hello, how are you doing? Are you alright? Ross Mills, are you... Not are you? Any upcoming games you're looking forward to? I'm really looking forward to next year playing Mass Effect, because I absolutely love those games. I've played those games so much. I need to start playing Mass Effect 3 again. So disappointed at the end. I mean, it's not actually as bad now, obviously, after they patched it slightly. But it's just, you know, it's still a bit rubbish. It's like you've poured hours and hours and hours into this game, and then the ending's a bit naff. It's upsetting. So yeah, probably looking forward to that most. But then again, Hitman, hopefully it's better than last time. I just hit the microphone. My apologies. Yeah, Hitman as well. It should be pretty damn cool. But there's quite a few, to be honest. I need 2 games I want to play at the moment, believe it or not, are Assassin's Creed Rogue. Don't ask me why. You can ask me why, that's the point. I think I just basically want to play a new version of Black Flag, which is what Rogue is, so I'll probably do that. And what's the other one? I don't know, Age of Mythology I just bought in the Steam sale, so I probably should get playing that. Joe Tiago, how much VRAM do you think the next Nvidia GPUs will have? If I was going to take a guess, I would say... Let's think. With the base range, you might be looking at 4 gig seems a bit excessive. It'll either be it could be 3, I guess. They could do 3 like they did on the 780 Ti, was it? Yeah, 3 gigabytes. It could be that. But the higher spec, yeah, you'll probably go. If they did a Ti version, you'd probably have 8 gig. The next 80 series, they'll probably have a different naming convention, by the way, for the new ones. Or if they call it the 1080, then that is almost certainly going to have 6 gig, and then lower down you'll probably have 4 gig in the 1070, if you like, and then lower in the other 2. But I'm not sure. But I think it's pretty damn clear that VRAM these days in some of the lower end cards is not enough, because the argument always used to be, well, textures basically are always going to be fairly similar. They're always going to take up about a gig, maybe a gig and a bit in your system, sort of VRAM. So it's all going to be in your resolution and your anti-aliasing. But no, now all games, even if you run them at lower settings, still require a huge amount of VRAM for textures. So do bear that in mind. Are you going to see the Star Wars movie? Well, it said the movie, but I'm assuming it's Star Wars. Yes, I'm actually going with some of my work colleagues. How about that? Organise that. So we are going to see it on release day, which should be pretty cool. I'm probably not as hyped up about it as I maybe should be. Ah, that's mine, mate. Oh no, it's not. Hold on, I'm going to have to throw that. I'm going to then press 4, then do that. Okay, then I'm going to grab my controller, because this is vehicle combat. And here we go. Playing in some vehicles. This map, by the way, it's alright. It just seems a bit naff, I guess, at first impressions. It's because there's not really much going on. It's just a wasteland. There's no visual points. It's just like, it's definitely the weakest of the maps, I would say, in my opinion so far, which is a shame. I'm being shot! I'm being shot! I'm dead. Now I'm getting tangled up. I need to get an Xbox One Elite controller. I think that's what I want to do. And I know you might be like, why? And I too, I'm kind of like, why? But the reason is just because I think you only need to buy a controller once, don't you? May as well go for the Elite. It's an elite amount of money. It's ridiculous. But the last one I've been using for years and years and years, back from the original Xbox One, Xbox 360 days. So it's an Xbox 360 controller. So I think it'll cost me maybe like 1p an hour. Maybe that's a little bit of a exaggeration, but it'll be very cheap, basically. Okay, I hope Luke doesn't die in this movie. I haven't really thought about what might happen at all, to be honest. I'd almost like there to be a really bad ending. Like, not bad as in bad, bad as in terrible things happen and it loops you on to the next one. Because, you know, the biggest anticlimax in movies recently, I would say, was The Hobbit Part 2. Right at the end, it was a great ending. Everything was going, you know, tits up. It was terrible. And you're like, oh, I really want to see the next one. Where do they go from this? You know, there's a dragon loose. And then you went to see the third one, and then everything's back to normal in about 6 minutes, I think it was. 6 minutes. How rubbish was that? It was the biggest anticlimax, and then the rest of that movie just wasn't very good. So hopefully they do something better than that. But yeah, no, I haven't thought about it too much. What GPU and CPU do you have in your PC? Sorry if you've answered it loads before. Not a problem. I haven't really answered it loads before. It's just a case of when I do say it, people, I guess they tend to remember it, maybe? I don't know. At this moment in time, I've got a Fury, the Asus Strix Edition, that they kindly lent out for review. And you can find that review coming Saturday. And that's powering this PC, which currently has 16 gig of RAM now. That's right, I upgraded 16 gig of RAM. 2400 MHz Corsair Vengeance DDR3. Enemy locked. Come on, kill him. I'm also running off multiple SSDs. Oh dear. Oh, I got him. Still got him. Okay, that's alright. Yeah, running off multiple SSDs. I think my next system will just be one absolutely massive Western Digital black hard drive that I will use as basically an archive, so it won't really get used, and then have a terabyte SSD just literally for everything else, and then just add more SSDs as they get cheaper if I need more game storage. I think that's my plan. But yeah, that's basically what my system is. I heard recently that 8 gig of RAM is no longer good enough for the newest games. Is this true? And then Joe Tiago has said, no, that's not true. It's not true, but I have noticed performance increases in Just Cause, and I haven't booted it up, so I can't lie and say I've noticed. But with Black Ops 3 and Just Cause 3, the RAM usage was very, very high, and things seem to be performing a little bit better. And my way almost of confirming that was to run the game windowed, open up Task Manager, and sure enough, more RAM was being utilised than before, and now I was utilising over 8 gig. So it's using the extra RAM anyway, and there seems to be less stutters, so I would assume that that would be why. It would make sense. Walker is exposed. Kill it. Okay. So yeah, in 99.9% of games you'll probably be alright, but so yeah, you don't need 8 gig of RAM, but I would say it would help to have 16, is what I would say, is my way of describing it. What was that game recently that they said on Windows 10 it's going to require 12 gig of RAM? I don't even remember what game that was now. Oh no! Oh, I'm dead now. Cock. Does that mean I've lost my power up? Oh, he only had 1 health. Come on. Oh no, it's gone now. Brilliant. So yeah, that's my take on that. But people in the audience, what do you agree with me there, or do you think that's wrong? Let me know. But personally, I think I've seen performance increase in Just Cause 3 with 16 rather than 8 gig of RAM. But that's just that's what I think. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that it's not wrong. Kill. If you have any more questions, do keep them coming. You know that this is the place to do it. This will be the last game. I know I say that, but this will definitely be the last game. Looking at the description, we have the biggest roster yet with confirmed Skylake build news, the OLED project, and 5K gaming. I think I've mentioned all of those. There will be a separate video on 5K gaming as well. Personally, if I was going to go in now and give you a verdict without even seeing it, I mean, I've seen the monitor, that I almost don't think it's fair because I saw it high up on the shelf not doing anything. But I would guess that 5K gaming probably isn't really worth it at the moment, but we'll wait and see. Not on such a small screen anyway. But that's why we test stuff, so we know. Imagine triple screen 5K gaming would be ridiculous, but then you'd need 2 DisplayPort cables per 5K monitor, so you'd need 6 DisplayPort cables. That'd be crazy. Any new reviews we should be looking forward to? Well, if you have missed the start, there are loads of cool things, including there'll be a video and review all about the 55-inch 4K OLED from LG. I believe it's like, is it the 960 or 970V? Something like that. So that's coming. There's the Skylake build that I will probably review components of. And my screen has completely gone black from where the driver's being a bit dodgy. And we're back now. Okay, we're alright. And then just if you're interested in FreeSync, then those videos should be of interest. And one thing I haven't mentioned as well is that I'm basically waiting on Asus to get the two IPS ROG monitors out with G-Sync, so the 60Hz one and the 60Hz 4K one, and the, oh no, that's the wrong controls, oh dear. The 60Hz 4K one with G-Sync, and then the 144 up to 165 Hz, I believe, IPS ROG 1440p one. Both of those are IPS actually. And I've basically said to them, look, I'm happy to review them any time, but if at all possible, if you can get both sent over at the same time, then for me personally, if I was going to buy any two monitors or have any monitor configuration I could have in the world, probably be those two. So I said it'd be quite cool to sort of do a video on both of those together, because then you're literally, any game you can handle it. Well, if it runs terribly, you can run it on the lower resolution, but if it runs a bit easily and a bit better, you can run it on the 4K monitor. And if it's a controller game, you'd probably want to play it on the 4K and so on, basically. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Come on, kill him, kill him! No, that wasn't very good. So yeah, but loads of cool reviews coming up, Leon. Loads of cool. Do you recommend me, this is from Freddy, to get more RAM, like upgrade from 8 to 16? I would recommend that if you are thinking about it, concerned, the easiest way to know if you need more RAM, open up Task Manager, Shift, Control, Escape, and then just run a game in its native resolution but in windowed mode, and just have it so that the Task Manager is, you can see it basically, and just monitor your RAM usage. And if you find that you're using a lot of RAM, then you probably are going to benefit from some more. But if you're literally just playing games, probably not going to be an issue at the moment in time. And that, bear in mind, I do a lot of video editing and an awful lot of photo editing as well. The biggest problem I was having with lack of RAM was in the photo editing, both the video editing and, because I only work on a single 1080p timeline. That's probably that, but both the video editing and the gaming, I didn't really see much need to do it, which is why it's taken me so long to upgrade. Don't forget, with RAM, if you upgrade your RAM, you literally just add more at the same speed. There is going to be no improvement in your system unless it uses that RAM, because adding 100 gig of RAM to your computer is not going to speed it up. Not unless you don't. It is a case of you either have enough RAM or you don't. You know, there are some applications out there a bit more intelligent and will use more RAM if you've got it, but most stuff you're not going to see much of a benefit. Okay, what's your favourite gun in Battlefront? It's probably the one I'm using now, just the basic one, because it's the most blaster-like, I would say, and it's a good balance of sort of range, accuracy, firepower. But I do use the other ones occasionally. Oh! I'm meant to avoid lock-ons, but it's not doing it! This is really slow. This is not a good... What's your favourite vehicle? It's definitely not this. This is awful. What's going on? That was bloody rubbish. I'm not happy about that. Opinion of Deus Ex being delayed again. Well, yeah, I mean, I heard about that straight away. I got the email from the lovely PR woman to let me know that. I don't think it matters too much for people, really. If the game comes out and it's good, it shouldn't make too much difference how long it's been delayed. Don't forget it was going to be coming out at the same time as Hitman and... what's it called? Mirror's Edge. That's right, it's going to come out about the same sort of time as those two. So maybe that was one of the reasons. Probably wasn't, but maybe that's one of the reasons. Personally, I can wait. But then again, I don't have too much time these days for games anyway, and I'll be happy playing the other two. So, personally, yeah, for me, not too fast, but I can understand why you might be. What OS do you recommend? Windows 10. That's what I'm using. That's what I like. I find Mac, if you have a MacBook Pro, Retina is good enough, but it's always just, it's got to be Windows 10. It's just the most versatile OS out there. You can pretty much run everything you can throw at it. Did you play Far Cry 4? I didn't. I need to do it. That's on my to-play list for sure. just because there was too much stuff came out last year and Ubisoft didn't send any review copies, so I was like, well, got other stuff to play. So I'm sorry you guys had to miss out on the review at the time, but there you go. That's just how the cookie crumbled, unfortunately. Right, can I actually try and do better here? Because look, I'm not really focusing, not going on. Thanks a lot. Best channel for PC help. Well, that means a lot. Thank you very much. I mean, I'm not sure I am, but I appreciate the comment anyway. But that's the benefit of live streams. You can ask anything you want, and especially while the channel is that little bit on the smaller side, you can get your answers. Can't guarantee I'll be able to answer every question, but I can certainly give it a go. R9 390X or GTX 980. Currently have a R9 290 in my build. Okay. Wouldn't really say it's necessarily worth upgrading. You're not going to see such a massive performance increase. You will see an increase, no doubt about it, but it's not going to be as ridiculous as if you'd had obviously a much older card. But I've done some benchmarks actually of those two cards, as you will see if you watch the Fury Strix review at the weekend. But actually the R9 390X comes out faster than the 980 in pretty much all the tests I did. And it's got more VRAM, so I would say actually, unless you want G-Sync or NVIDIA specific features, I think the 390X has to be the way to go, but it does have a bigger power consumption, and the card actually ran a lot louder than both the GTX 980 and the R9 Fury, which brings me on to the R9 Fury, which I would say is definitely the much better card. Other than the fact it's got less VRAM, it runs much quieter, I think it's more efficient, and obviously it's more powerful as well. So I would actually probably go for the Fury out of all those options, unless you want NVIDIA specific features. There you go, that's my answer. I would say it's good PC advice. Let me know. Any more questions, you know where to keep them coming. You know where to put them. Right, there we go. Right, I'm going to focus now. I am playing on a tiny screen though. For some horrible reason. This is probably only 720p, not 1080p as well. It's horrible. Could be wrong, but probably not. Well, I don't know. No, probably not. I think for some reason Star Wars Battlefront windowed. It doesn't like going to the resolution I want it to do, which is a shame. But there we go. Right. Tea's gone cold, unfortunately now. What do you want me to stream next week, by the way? We've got plenty of choices. I could pick up Fallout again if you want. We've got Just Cause 3. We've got this, well, I went to 2 weeks in a row. We've got Call of Duty Zombies. Counter-Strike Go can make a return if you want. Let me know what you want and I can make it happen. As long as it's a game I have and I have permission to stream, I can make it happen. Quite a big criteria list, but yeah. Wow. Oh, I had the wrong gun! Ah, damn. Damn. But yeah, what are you all doing at Christmas anyway? And is anyone building a computer at the moment? Normally there's someone saying, I'm building. We haven't had anyone saying that they're building yet. Anyone building a new PC? And is anyone going Skylake? Or has anyone decided that Skylake's too expensive and is going to go for the X99 or an AMD system? Let me know. Worst game you played this year? Ooh, worst game I played this year. I haven't played many bad... Oh, well, I haven't played too many bad games, actually. There's one game I played that unfortunately hasn't been very good. I never even got a chance to properly review it because I couldn't get it to work properly, and then I just got a bit sidetracked, and then there weren't... It was a multiplayer game, and no one was playing online. That was like Gianna Sisters, Dream Runners, I think it was called. But to be fair to the game, I didn't probably give it enough of a chance because I didn't give it enough time to do the full review. But that's only because there was no one playing it, so... How can you play a multiplayer game online if there's no one to play with? So that's what happened to the end of that. Oh yeah, that's probably the worst game I played this year, but not sure. Not really been any duffers. There's no Aliens, Colonial Marines, or Unity this time around, really. The worst thing that's happened has just been the frustrating performance, I guess, in Just Cause 3 on the AMD card, but even then, it's still not that bad. Royal Marines got a monitor. Which monitor did you get? And did you utilise any of the reviews on the channel? Best budget monitor. Difficult to say, but from what I've seen at the moment, it depends whether, of course, you want a gaming monitor or a general purpose all-round monitor. If you want a gaming monitor, then I would strongly advise sort of waiting to see if you can get the AOC FreeSync one that is coming up very shortly. But best budget monitor for NVIDIA users by far was the AOC. Probably would have won an Editor's Choice Award if it had been around at the time. Still slightly too expensive though, compared to the now FreeSync options. But just for general all-round budget monitors, it's quite a good selection really. I mean, you can get quite a few selections of IPS monitors now for about £120–130 if you want the most budget option, or you can step up to 1440p now for about £220. Dollar conversion, that's probably about what, $280 or something, but you'll have to check that for yourself. I think this is going to be the wrap up though. I mean, I'll hang around for any last questions if anyone has them. We have a fair amount of people watching, which is very nice, so thank you so much for joining us. I will start the wrap up chat. I hope it's been very beneficial, and if you have missed out on any of the upcoming topics that I was talking about earlier, you can find them about 5 minutes into the video where I start talking about those. Leon's asking what my current keyboard and mouse is. Well, I'm using at the moment the Cooler Master Quickfire TK Storm TK, just because actually I find that while the switches are the same, the actual physical the actual physical sort of button that you press, I find that to be nicer actually than the Corsair K70, wasn't it? RGB. Although the K70 RGB is a much overall better keyboard with more features, I think I'm so used to this, and I do really like how clicky it feels. Then that is actually why I'm still using this over the Corsair. But I am using the Corsair one at work, and the multimedia features and just general buttons and layout is much better on the K70. What's your take on Chill Blast? Any good as a company? Haven't got too much experience with them actually, to be perfectly honest with you. That and Fractal Design and companies like that, that's probably the thing I will do the most next year. More PC related videos and try and get cases in from different companies. Because Corsair have been brilliant, they really have, in supplying parts for the upcoming Skylake build. But it doesn't. The same with Philips and AOC. I want as much variety as possible, so I'll be looking to sort of other companies as well. Same with Asus actually. I mean, it's great that they have been on board with these projects, but I think it's in everyone's best interest to have plenty of variety, and especially if you are someone like Asus, if you have the best product out there, then your argument for the best product out there becomes a lot stronger. If I've tested loads of other things and said it's better than this, it's better than this, it's better than this, and so on. But obviously it can backfire. This one's rubbish, don't buy this, everything else is better. But we'll wait and see. Right, any last questions? Any last questions? This has been quite a good stream so far, hasn't it? Elapsed time 48 minutes. Yeah, any more questions? This is now. Corsair Air 540 is a beast looking case. Have a guess what the case is for the upcoming Skylake build. It's the Corsair Air 540 in black. Almost wanted the white version, but unfortunately that wasn't available. Only because it's easier to film, but man, I'm really looking forward. I have to say, I'm really looking forward to getting the Skylake build going. But yeah, Corsair Air 540 should be pretty damn cool. I've used and built in the Air 240, which is the newest version of that case, although that is obviously a lot smaller, so it's not the same case, but it's just a slimmed down version, and that thing is bloody awesome. Very British, bloody, yeah, it's bloody awesome. It really is. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the Air 540, because it's literally, excuse my language here, but it's absolute piss to cable manage, because you don't have to worry about closing the side panel because it's split into two sections. It's so good. I'm really looking forward to building in it. Decent Skylake or good i5. Well, i5 Skylake. i5 Skylake, or at the moment, because the prices are extortionate, probably X99 6 core and bypass the 6700K. All depends on pricing. But if you're going to be paying the same money for the 6700K, then there's no point getting it, is there? You know? Probably shouldn't be saying that when I'm about to do a Skylake build with that exact processor, but I'm here to tell you how it is. You know, it's about the best proposition. And it's going to be a shame if these chips stay the same price, because it's just silly to buy them. at that price. Not silly to buy them. I'm sure they're very, very good. And even though we are having bend gates, probably should be alright. Thanks for that, Unbelievable Gaming. Maybe I should stop the video. Maybe I should just stop there. Is that what you want? No one touches my tea, alright? Bananarama. Again, not really adding much to the conversation there, but thank you nonetheless. Okay, I believe this is time to wrap up. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I appreciate it. I say it every week, but you guys are the elite. You literally are. That's what my chemistry teacher used to say to me. And the thing is, he was blatantly lying, because I went and got a D in chemistry. That is not the elite, is it? But it's quite a good thing to say, actually, isn't it? And it is true. You guys are the elite. You are having a massive influence on everything that goes on this channel. And you might not think that, but believe you me, you are. And it's great to get your opinions, answer your questions, and basically keep you nice and happy. I know my friend Matt, he is joking, just to point that out before I get complaints. But apparently my friend Matt's dad, he jokingly, again, very, very clearly jokingly said to him, like as sort of like girlfriend advice, he was like, said, treat him mean, keep him keen. That definitely wouldn't work with this, would it? If I started going around saying, oh, everyone that's following me, I hate them, they're terrible people, you're probably not going to watch, so that's definitely not going to work. Treat him nice, keep him around. I don't know. No idea. If you can come up with a better rhyme, please tell me. Is the 3.5 gig on the GTX 970 a problem? It's probably not, but it's going to become more relevant as the card ages. It's plain and simple. I would still happily buy one. But yeah, it's more of a problem than... It will definitely become an issue. Certainly on some of the games that are really using loads and loads of high-res textures. It really is. And that's just the console-based games. I mean, the PC exclusive games, now that the developers have got the ideas of using really high-res textures, then yeah, it might get even worse. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thank you so much for checking out this video. As always, like I say, you guys are the elite. You really are, and I really appreciate everything you do for the channel, for watching. And yeah, I believe I will see you in the next video. But I will wait until I die. Not in real life. Who's shooting me? Alright, that's it. That's right. Thank you so much for watching the stream. Any more questions? At PC Century on Twitter. Go there, follow me, ask me anything you like. And as long as you don't bombard me with direct messages all the time, I'll get back to you. And if you do bombard me with direct messages, the reason I don't reply all the time is because I'm at work and I can't do it. So you're best off just send me a tweet. Just tweet at PC Century, and then I'll answer it. Plain and simple. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.